The Birthday Honours 2007 for the Commonwealth realms were announced on the 17th of June 2007, to celebrate the Queen's birthday of 2007. The recipients of honours are displayed here as they were styled before the new honour, and arranged first by the country whose ministers advised the Queen on the appointments, then by honour, with classes and then divisions as appropriate. United Kingdom. Knights Bachelor John William Baker, CBE, Chair, Senior Salaries Review Body and Public Services Remuneration Committee. For Public Service, Professor Christopher Allen Bailey, Veer Harmsworth, Professor of Imperial and Naval History, University of Cambridge. For Services to History, Ian Terence Botham, OBE. For Services to Charity and to Cricket, Rodney Brooke, CBEDL, Chair, General Social Care Council. For Public Service, Stephen Michael Bullock, Mayor, London Borough of Lewisham. For Services to Local Government, William Henry Callaghan, JP, Chair, Health and Safety Commission. For Services to Health and Safety, Peter Derrick Carr, CBEDL, Chair, North East Strategic Health Authority. For Services to the NHS, Professor George Castledine, Professor of Nursing, University of Central England and Consultant of Nursing, Dudley Group of Hospitals NHS Trust. For Services to Healthcare, Professor Peter Frederick Chester Cook, Architect and Teacher. For Services to Architecture, Charles Ireland Gray, CBEJP, lately Convener of Education, North Lanarkshire Council. For Services to Education, John Kevin Hegarty, Creative Director and Chair, Bartle, Bogle Hegarty Limited. For Services to the Advertising Industry, Professor Brian John Hoskins, CBE, Professor of Meteorology, University of Reading. For Services to Environmental Science, Paul Joseph Scotley, QPMDL Chief Constable, West Midlands Police. For Services to the Police, Professor David Melville, CBE, Vice-Chancellor, University of Kent. For Services to Higher and Further Education, Kilpatrick Alexander Norman, CBE, Founder, Roundhouse Trust. For Services to the Arts and to Disadvantaged Young People, Professor David John Reed, Vice President and Biological Secretary, Royal Society. For Services to Biological Sciences, Norman Leon Rosenthal, Exhibitions Secretary, Royal Academy of Arts. For Services to Art, Ahmed Salman Rushdie, Author. For Services to Literature, George Malcolm Williamson, Chair, CDC Group plc. For Services to the Financial Services Industry, Order of the Bath, Knights Grand Cross of the Order of the Bath Sir Robin Jean Vryn, KCB KCVO Private Secretary to the Queen and Keeper of the Queen's Archives, Knights Commander of the Order of the Bath Paul David Grenville Hayter, LVO Clerk of the Parliament's House of Lords, Lee Warren Lewis, CB Permanent Secretary, Department for Work and Pensions. Companions of the Order of the Bath Stephen Aldridge, Director, Prime Minister's Strategy Unit, Cabinet Office. Helen Janet, Lady Caldwell. Parliamentary Council Office. Thomas Anthony Cameron, lately Chief Executive, Scottish Prison Service. Miss Susan Margaret Head, Deputy Chief Executive, UK Trade and Investment, Department of Trade and Industry. Martin Lloyd Howard, Director General, Operational Policy, Ministry of Defence. Stephen William Jones, lately Acting Chief Finance Officer, HM Revenue and Customs. Stephen James Leach, Grade 3, Northern Ireland Office. Douglas George Miller, Clerk Assistant, House of Commons. Terence Anthony Moran, Chief Executive, Disability and Carers Service, Department for Work and Pensions. Mark Edward Ormerod, Director, Civil, Family and Customer Services, Her Majesty's Courts Service. Ministry of Justice, Adam Sharples, Director General, Work, Welfare and Equality Group, Department for Work and Pensions. Nikita Mrs. Tompkinson, Director, Transport Security, Department for Transport. Order of St. Michael and St. George, Knights Grand Cross of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, Diplomatic Division, Sir Mir Jones Parry, K. CMG, UK Permanent Representative to the United Nations, New York. Knights Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, Diplomatic Division, Anthony Russell Brenton, C.M.G., HM Ambassador, Moscow. Julian Gordon Priestley, lately Secretary-General, European Parliament. Robert John Sawyers, C.M.G., lately Director-General, Political, Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Companions of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, Diplomatic Division, Philip Robert Barton, O.B.E., Deputy Governor, Gibraltar. James Richard Cadwallader, Consulate, Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Professor Elizabeth Kroll, for services to higher education, especially in promoting understanding of China's social development. David William Fall, H.M. Ambassador, Bangkok. Peter Olaf Gooderham, Director, Middle East and North Africa Directorate, Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Oleg Antonovich Gordievsky, for services to the security of the United Kingdom. The Right Reverend George Clive Hanford, lately Bishop in Cyprus and the Gulf, presiding Bishop of the Province of Jerusalem, for services to promoting interfaith dialogue in the Arab world. Nicholas Peter Kay, Senior Foreign and Commonwealth Office Representative, South Afghanistan. David Jeffrey Lang, C.B.E. QC, lately Attorney General, the Falkland Islands, South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. Ms. Siobhan Peters, lately leader of the Stern Review team on the economics of climate change, HM Treasury. Andrew James Sparks, H.M. Ambassador, Kinshasa. Royal Victorian Order, Knights Commander of the Royal Victorian Order, the Most Honourable David George Philip, the Marquess of Cholmondeley, Lord Great Chamberlain. Commanders of the Royal Victorian Order, Drive, June Patterson Brown, C.B.E. J.P., formerly Lord Lieutenant of Roxburgh, Ettrick Lauderdale. Christopher Edward Wollaston Mackenzie Guide, O.B.E., Deputy Private Secretary to the Queen. Michael Charles William Norreys Jeffson, L.V.O., Chief Clerk, Master of the Households Department, Royal Household. George Robert Marwood, J.P., formerly Lord Lieutenant of Orkney. Cameron Holdsworth Parker, O.B.E., formerly Lord Lieutenant of Renfrewshire. David Logan Stewart, W.S., formerly Solicitor to the Queen in Scotland. Lieutenants of the Royal Victorian Order, Andrew Bruce Crichton M.V.O., formerly Operations Coordinator, Household of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. Miss Annabel Frances Dunkles, Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Royal Collection Enterprises. A Reverend Canon Michael John Derrick Irving, formerly Trustee, Outward Bound Trust. Simon Nicholas Henry Hayward Knapp, Veterinary Surgeon, Royal Mews. Air Vice Marshal David Richard Hawkins Leth, C.B.M.B.E., formerly Gentleman Usher to the Queen. A Reverend Canon John Anthony Ovenden, Chaplain, the Royal Chapel, Windsor Great Park. Stephen James Patterson, M.V.O., Computer Systems Manager, Royal Collection. Lieutenant Colonel Conway John Edward Seymour, for services to the Duke of Edinburgh. David Malcolm Thomas, C.B.E., Chairman, In Kind Direct. Christopher Tumman, Private Secretary and ADC to the Lieutenant Governor of the Isle of Man. Tipovu Arthur, M.B.E., formerly Official Secretary to the Governor-General of Papua New Guinea. Miriam Ray, Mrs. Watts, Head of Personnel and Administration, Household of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. Members of the Royal Victorian Order: the Reverend Paul Robert Carrington Abram, Chaplain, H.M. Tower of London; Miss Elizabeth Ash, Secretary to the Lord Chamberlain; Inspector Christopher John Collins, Metropolitan Police. For services to royalty protection: Meghan, Mrs. Gent, R.V.M., Paper Conservator, Royal Archives; Nigel George Goldsmith, R.V.M., Deputy Assistant, C Branch Master of the Households Department; Roger Edward Harmon, formerly Headmaster, Flitcham School, Norfolk; Miss Valerie Hill, Assistant to the Clerk of the Lieutenancy of Suffolk; Mark David Howard, Deputy Information Systems Manager, Royal Household; Martin Elliott Keane, Picture Editor, Press Association; Joseph Norman Maggs, Senior Travel Assistant, Royal Travel Office, Royal Household; Miss Carol Janet R.H.E. Acute Philippe, Senior Assistant, Wiltshire County Council; Alistair Stanley Douglas Service, C.B.E., formerly Chairman, Craft Scholars Programme, the Prince's Foundation for the Built Environment; William John Sim, R.V.M., Farm Grieve Balmoral Estate; David Vivian Thomas, Crown Jeweller; David Frank Westwood, R.V.M., Exhibitions and Maintenance Conservator, Royal Collection; Royal Victorian Medal Bat to the Royal Victorian Medal Robert Rowlands, R.V.M., Stud Groom, Sandringham; Royal Victorian Medal Marianne Ann, Mrs. Back, Senior Sales Assistant, Sandringham Estate Gift Shop; Michael Sterling Bostock, B.E.M., Yeoman Sergeant, the Queen's Bodyguard of the Yeoman of the Guard; Kenneth George Comley, Team Leader, Property Maintenance, Crown Estate, Windsor; Philip Michael Hollister, Park Warden, Crown Estate, Windsor; Gilbert Charles Godwin Keys, B.E.M., Yeoman Bedgoet, the Queen's Bodyguard of the Yeoman of the Guard; Constable William Paul Morris, Metropolitan Police. For services to royalty protection: Michael McNall Muir, Ponyman, Balmoral Estate; Rosemary Heather, Mrs. Osgood, Engine Court Bookshop Manager S. Royal Collection Enterprises, Windsor Castle; James Daniel Pine, Senior Warden, Jewel House, H.M. Tower of London; Anthony Kevin Raby, Butler to the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall; Constable David Martin Smith, Metropolitan Police. For services to royalty protection: Alan Brian Spencer, Assistant to the Superintendent of the State Apartments, St James's Palace; Karen Jane, Mrs. Woodhouse, Accounts Clerk, Farm Secretary, Sandringham Estate. Order of the Companions of Honour, Diplomatic and Overseas List; Order of the British Empire, Knights Grand Cross of the Order of the British Empire, Sir David Cooksey, lately Chair, Advent Venture Partners. For public service: Dames Commander of the Order of the British Empire, Professor Susan Jocelyn Bell Burnell, CBE, Visiting Professor of Astrophysics, University of Oxford. For services to science: Professor Marcela Contreras, Director of Diagnostics, Research and Development, National Blood Service. For services to healthcare: Professor Janet Elizabeth Sayeri, husband OBE, Professor of Diagnostic Radiology and President, Royal College of Radiologists. For services to medicine: Miss Elizabeth Mary Keegan, lately Managing Director, Government Financial Management, HM Treasury; Barbara Mary, Mrs. Kelly, CBEDL for public service in Scotland; Ms. Carolyn Emma Kirby, OBE, Classical Concert Singer. For services to music: Mary Leslie, Mrs. Perkins, Director, Specsavers Optical Group Limited. For services to business and to the community in Guernsey. Commanders of the Order of the British Empire: Shami Chakrabarti, Director of Liberty. For services to human rights: John Barry Humphries, actor and writer, for services to entertainment. Horace Ove Acute, director, producer, writer and photographer, for services to the film industry. Stephen Poliakov, writer and director, for services to drama. David Starkey, historian and broadcaster, for services to history. Rose Tremaine, author, for services to literature. Officers of the Order of the British Empire. David A.J., for services to architecture. Barbara Taylor Bradford, author, for services to literature. Stuart Burrows, opera singer, for services to music. Joseph Ephraim Casely Hayford, designer, for services to the fashion industry. Richard Clement, film and television writer, for services to drama. John Robert Cocker, singer, for services to music. Ian Lafreniere, film and television writer, for services to drama. William Mott, British Army NCO, for military service. Professor Diane Waller, Professor of Art Psychotherapy, Goldsmiths College and Life President, British Association of Art Therapists, for services to healthcare. Members of the Order of the British Empire. David A. Bailey, curator and founder, Autograph Association of Black Photographers, for services to the visual arts. Sonia Boyce, artist, for services to art. Denise Caffari, yachtswoman, for services to sailing. Jane Couch, boxer, for services to sport. Paul Gladstone Reed, director, Rising Tide Trust, for services to music. Norma Winston, jazz musician and singer, for services to music. Baileys, members of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Ziegel, for services to literature and to the community. Cook Islands, Order of the British Empire, officers of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Members of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. British Empire Medal. Civil Division. Grenada, Order of the British Empire, commanders of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Officers of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Members of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. British Empire Medal. Civil Division. Solomon Islands, Order of St. Michael and St. George, Companions of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. Civil Division. Order of British Empire, Commander of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Officers of the Order British Empire Civil Division. Members of the Order British Empire Civil Division. St. Lucia, Order of St. Michael and St. George, Companions of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. Civil Division. Order of the British Empire, Officers of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. Members of the Order of the British Empire Civil Division. British Empire Medal. Civil Division. New Zealand, or Order of New Zealand. New Zealand Order of Merit.